I'm joined now by Congressman Dan Kildee. He's a Democrat from Michigan who also represents Flint. Congressman Kildee, the people charged are described as low level. So do you think that this is the tip of the iceberg and more high-level officials could be charged?
Well, one thing we know for sure is that the people that we're talking about here who may be culpable were simply carrying out directions that were coming from well above them, whether that is just executing this philosophy of government that Governor Snyder brought to Michigan, or whether it was specific direction. That remains to be seen, and I'm very hopeful, optimistic that the investigations that are underway will answer those questions, and that those held accountable will actually be held responsible if, in fact, there are criminal charges. I hope, however, that the justice that we are seeking for the people includes but goes well beyond just the kind of justice that we're seeing through these criminal charges. The people of Flint deserve help, as you had mentioned, to get them through the challenges that they are going to face, not now, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and well into the future.
And Congressman, when we think about the future, let's talk about the immediate and what the people of Flint are currently living through right now. Are you satisfied with the state response and the federal response, especially the fact that a Senate energy bill, which included hundreds of millions of dollars in emergency aid for Flint, has stalled and now doesn't seem to advance with the money necessary to help the people of Flint?
No, I'm not satisfied at all. Both the state government, which should do much, much more, and the federal government that can, the Congress should act. The administration has helped. The White House has stepped up. The Department of Labor, the Department of Health and Human Services, other agencies are providing what they can under existing law. But what we need is a recovery plan equal to the size of this problem. My view is, even though we know the state government is principally responsible, that the federal government and the state government ought to share in the responsibility, ought to share in the cost of an immediate and long-term plan to make it right for the people of Flint. Prosecutions are important. People getting fired, that's important. But what does that do for a child living in Flint that has an additional hurdle because of these terrible decisions that were made? It does nothing for them except perhaps prevent it from happening again. We need to make sure that we have justice that is restorative justice, not just the kind of justice that we're seeing through these prosecutions.
Well, we know that the state attorney said that he hopes that this beginning investigation, these charges that we're seeing today, will help with the faith and confidence being restored for the folks of Flint. But there's a very long process ahead, and your colleague, Congressman requested a meeting with Governor Snyder to go over, he says, grave concerns about the testimony that Governor Snyder gave to Congress. He has not heard back from Governor Snyder about that meeting. Do you think that will happen?
I don't know. I mean, Governor Snyder continues to treat this as a public relations problem. I mean, just this week, instead of going to the state legislature and saying, you know what, bring me the Flint recovery bill, or I'm not going to sign anything else, that's what I think he should do. What he did was that he said that for 30 days, he's going to drink filtered Flint water. Now, who does that help, other than him trying to help his own reputation? This governor is completely tone deaf when it comes to the gravity of this problem.
Congressman Dan Kildee, who represents Flint, thank you, sir, for making time for me. I appreciate it, and I just want to remind everybody to watch my colleague Rachel Maddow, her show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Rachel has been at the forefront of this story, really putting it on a national stage and shining a bright spotlight on it. She's going to have much more coming up.